Let this love be the fading sky. We could drift all night until the new sunrise. Pass me a drink or maybe two.
Yeah, Guy, welcome to In the Lineup, Surfer Magazine's Internet Talk Radio podcast. It's Wednesday, November 1st. It's a beautiful Wednesday. And again, you're listening to In the Lineup, Surfer Magazine's Internet Talk Radio podcast, available on iTunes or at inthelineup.com. Of course, you can call 877-792-SURF anytime and leave us a message, and we'll probably play that message if it's clear. Email us anytime in the lineup at SurferMag.com. We've got a very special show for you today. Tim Curran, Tim, like those that serve in our United States Air Force, Tim, you've done lots of amazing things. You signed as a young Grom with Quicksilver. Then you moved on to K2, and now in what seems like a perfect fit for you, Tim, you're with Hurley. That's amazing stuff. DoSomethingAmazing.com, the United States Air Force. We want to thank the United States Air Force and DoSomethingAmazing.com for sponsoring the show. Tim Curran, you are an amazing surfer. You do the crazy airs. Is it true that you toured with the Foo Fighters, or did you open for the Foo Fighters, or maybe you can explain this summer's tour?
Yeah, we played 6 shows on the West Coast with the Foo Fighters, and then we just got back from Australia. We went and opened up for them at the Sydney Opera House for 3 nights in a row.
Explain to the listening audience how your connection with the Foo Fighters took place.
I'm a huge fan of theirs. Obviously, I've been listening to them for many years and love their music. And then I think I'm going to have Rick DeVoe tell us how we did it, right? Because Rick made it all happen through Chris Shiflett.
Yeah, Chris Shiflett, he's one of the guitar players, the Foo Fighters, and he's a surfer, lives up in Palisades. And Chris I've been friends with for a while, and I was like, man, I got to hook him up with Timmy, because I knew if they had some hang time, they'd probably, have a good thing.
Hang time, another Air Force little,
that's right.
Thing there. U.S. Air Force, DoSomethingAmazing.com.
And so I took him surfing one time. I think we went to Oxnard Shores, and they hung out. And then we all went on a trip to Mexico, down to our friend Daryl's house in Zihuatanejo, and we hung out, and they jammed, and started kissing.
Is that an awkward thing?
No, it was really cool, though. Chris and Timmy are very similar, and so they just had this natural thing.
Well, when we surfed that day, Rick's like, dude, give Shiflett your EP, and so I'm like, okay, and I had a few in my car, so I gave him it, and then I didn't know what Rick was working on, and for the next couple months, we just went on surf trips, and Chris is a cool guy, and we jammed and whatever, and then next thing you know, we got it, and then I didn't meet Dave until the tour, but obviously they had to show Dave the EP to see if it fit their acoustic tour.
Right. Shiflett was coming in on one end, and I was working it from another end, and John Silver, the manager, is a really cool guy. He manages the Beastie Boys. He's a really big-time manager, and he bought in. I remember he's all, Rick, I'm in. I want your surfer guy. And I'm like, oh,
your surfer guy.
And then we would just start calling Timmy and go, we got Santa Barbara. We got Seattle, like one by one. It's just all, really? And then it just all started happening. But, Shiflett, it was just really cool. It's kind of a natural chemistry. It was a really cool thing that happened. And that acoustic tour was amazing for those who got to see it. It was.
So where did it come from? I mean, it seems weird. You have a guitar, you hang out with certain guys that play music, or?
Well, I come from a very musical family. My grandma plays piano and sings. My Uncle Anthony has his own independent CD out. My dad plays guitar and sings as well. And I grew up listening to James Taylor and Neil Young. And I've played guitar since I was about 13 and have tried writing songs since I was about 15, but never really. I've only showed people like maybe one song up until 2 years ago. And it kind of was not until 2 years ago that I was able to. It was like one day I found something that I was comfortable with, the way I sang my songs to show people, and then it's all gone from there.
Wow. Has it eclipsed surfing as far as, how do you balance the two out, and where is surfing now in your life?
It's equal. I think they go hand in hand, and like when we went out to, along the Foo Fighters, we were surfing along that tour. We went to Australia, we're surfing, and I tell Rick, I'm like, we're the coast-to-coast thing, like, I don't want to go inland, I just want to do
Iowa.
West Coast, East Coast, and Japan, we're going out with Donovan Frankenreiter, and, like, we're going to be surfing. So it goes hand in hand, and then if we can incorporate trips and stories out of all of it, I think it's a perfect fit. And
That's
I'm
interesting.
as focused on surfing every day and trying to do new maneuvers and stuff like that.
The way I look at it, since you started doing this, you pulled the flip.